One of the most controversial topics in all of Boruto is the potential death of Sasuke Uchiha.
Damn, boy!
It's been a hotly debated topic for years now. Is Sasuke gonna live or die? Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but Sasuke is probably gonna die, and he's probably gonna die here in part 1. So this is that Sasuke death flag video I said I would eventually make a year ago, where I'll show you every single sign that Sasuke will die. Now, there's 3 types of death flags I'm going to cover today, those being direct foreshadowing, patterns in Kishimoto's writing style, and likely future events and plot points that Sasuke's death would be a great instigator for. Starting with the direct foreshadowing, we can go all the way back to the first chapter and episode. Boruto is wearing Sasuke's clothes. That would be pretty odd if Sasuke was still alive. Literally nobody in Naruto gives away their current outfit to their student and then finds a replacement outfit. Nobody. Best case for Sasuke is that he just gave Boruto a copy of his outfit, like how Might Guy had several of his green suits which he gave Lee to wear. Boruto also has Sasuke's sword though, so he'd have to have made a copy of that too, or else Sasuke would be down his main weapon, which wouldn't be smart of him considering he's already down an arm and an eye. He doesn't need to be down a weapon too. And Boruto also has Sasuke's headband, which we know wasn't a copy. It was the real thing. Chances are that's Sasuke's actual stuff though and not a copy, and I'm not really sure why Boruto would be wearing those clothes if Sasuke was still alive. On the other hand, if Sasuke was dead, Boruto wearing Sasuke's clothes is very much in Boruto's character. As we know, Boruto's dream is to become a ninja like Sasuke. He wants to be like Sasuke. Back in the Momoshiki arc, after Momoshiki and Kinshiki took Naruto away after he tanked Momoshiki's Reign of the Emperor jutsu to protect the village in chapter 6 and episode 63, Boruto was under the impression that Naruto was dead. During this time, Boruto was going through his character growth that he went through during the Boruto movie, where he realizes that he was lame and uncool and wrong about his father Naruto, and he puts on Naruto's old jacket from part 1, and he asks Sasuke what Naruto would do at times like this, implying that Boruto wants to be more like Naruto now, which is symbolically represented by him wearing Naruto's old ripped jacket instead of his own clean new jacket. He wanted to be more like Naruto, so he wore Naruto's clothes. Then Sasuke told him to ask Naruto himself what he would do, which surprised Boruto since he didn't realize Naruto was still alive, and then they go save him and blah blah blah. The point is, Boruto thought Naruto was dead, and at the very least he knew Naruto didn't wear that outfit anymore, and he wanted to be like Naruto, who he thought was cooler than he was, so he put Naruto's outfit on. Nowadays, Boruto wants to be a ninja like Sasuke who protects the village and the Hokage from the shadows. Knowing Boruto, if Sasuke dies and Boruto takes on that Shadow Hokage role, it's in character for him to put on Sasuke's clothes too. It symbolically represents Boruto becoming a ninja like Sasuke and taking his place in protecting the village in Sarada, who may become Hokage one day. Moving on though, the next major piece of foreshadowing comes in episode 21 of the anime, where Naruto recalls an important conversation he had with Sasuke previously, where Sasuke explained that his mission to discover clues about Kage and the Otsutsuki clan to protect the village and the world from the shadows is also a journey of atonement for Sasuke. Naruto says that the village has forgiven Sasuke, but Sasuke hasn't forgiven himself. That's why he never took his arm back. He still feels like he needs to atone for his past sins. And truthfully, Sasuke is never going to feel like he's fully atoned for his crimes until he's died for the village and his friends and family. That's when Sasuke is going to truly forgive himself and be proud of the person he's become. That in of itself is a death flag, because Sasuke wants to atone for his sins, and he wants to forgive himself eventually, and he's fully willing to die for the sake of the village. He literally says this in chapter 48, which is the next piece of foreshadowing. When Ishiki was on his way to the Leaf Village, Naruto wouldn't let Boruto come with them, and Boruto was worried about Naruto and Sasuke because they already lost to Jigen, and now they had to fight him again in an even stronger form. And Sasuke interrupts and says that he is willing to die at any moment for Konoha, as is Naruto. They are always prepared to do so. This ties in very heavily with the foreshadowing that comes in chapter 69, which are huge. There's several death flags in just this one scene. Sasuke asked Boruto to forgive him because stopping Momoshiki was Sasuke's responsibility as Boruto's teacher, but he wasn't there when Boruto needed him, and that the village doesn't need to hate anyone besides Sasuke. In light of the current events where the village hated Kawaki for attacking Naruto and Boruto, and now they hate Boruto because of Eida's omnipotence role reversal, Sasuke's intent may be to draw hatred towards himself in order to reduce the hatred that's currently directed towards Boruto. This is in Sasuke's character, and it actually aligns very strongly with his philosophy at the end of Naruto Shippuden, where he wanted to draw all hate towards himself and he alone would bear the burden of all hatred in the world. Sasuke may apply a similar philosophy in this instance, especially given what he said in chapter 69. More importantly though, Boruto and Sasuke spoke about resolve in this conversation, specifically Boruto's resolve to die. In regards to Boruto asking Kawaki to kill him and Kawaki following through with it, Boruto says that Kawaki understood and accepted Boruto's resolve. Then he pulls out Sasuke's headband so that he can return it to Sasuke and says that it helped him firm up his resolve. In both cases, Boruto is clearly referring to his resolve to die to protect his family, friends, and village from Momoshiki. Then Sasuke tells Boruto to keep the headband, and I'll come right back to that in a second. And then Sasuke says, I might be the one having to show his resolve next, which confuses Boruto. A lot of people thought that Sasuke meant that he might have to show his resolve to kill Boruto next time, just like Kawaki did, but that's not what Sasuke meant. For one thing, Sasuke already said it was his responsibility to kill Boruto if it came down to it, and apologized for not being there to do the job when Boruto needed him most. And second, that's not the resolve they were talking about throughout the entire conversation. They were talking about Boruto's resolve to die. They didn't speak about Kawaki's resolve to kill Boruto. It was about Boruto's resolve to let Kawaki kill Boruto. Then Sasuke says he might be the one having to show his resolve next. That's why Boruto was confused. He wouldn't be confused about Sasuke showing his resolve to kill Boruto because Sasuke literally said he'd do that if it came down to it back in chapter 48, which literally comforted Boruto, not confused him. So hearing Sasuke say that again wouldn't be confusing to Boruto, and he literally talked about it earlier in the chapter. He was confused because Sasuke was talking about showing his own resolve to die, which on its own isn't a surprise to Boruto either, but in the context of their conversation, it felt random to Boruto. Coming back to the headband though, Sasuke permanently giving Boruto his headband is a big red flag. As Boruto pointed out, that headband is an important memento of Naruto and Sasuke, and giving away a prized possession isn't exactly a sign that a character is going to live for the rest of the series. It's usually a sign that they're going to die. In fact, losing your headband is a very common type of death foreshadowing used throughout Naruto, as several characters died shortly after losing their headbands. Let me give you a bunch of examples. Hidan's headband fell off when Shikamaru slashed his neck, and then Shikamaru blew him to bits and buried him underground shortly afterwards. Kakuzu's headband came off when he went into his long-range tentacle form, and then Naruto hit him with the Rasen Shuriken and Kakashi finished him off shortly afterwards. Kisame lost his headband during the B fight and also lost ownership of his sword during that fight too, and he died shortly after he finally separated himself from Samehada. The Diva Path lost his headband from Six-Tailed Naruto's Biju Bomb and ended up being defeated not long afterwards after he used Chubaku Tensei and Naruto talked to Minato and regained confidence in himself. Jiraiya lost his special headband thing when the Asura Path snuck up on him, and then Jiraiya died soon afterwards. Kakashi lost his headband when he got stuck pinned between rocks in his fight against Pain, and died shortly afterwards protecting Choji, and then Nagato revived him later on. Neji's headband got knocked off from the Ten-Tail spikes, and then he died very shortly afterwards. Kidomaru's headband came off when he went into the second state of his curse mark, and then he died not long afterwards. And we could go on and on. Sasuke letting Boruto borrow his headband during the Momoshiki and Ishiki fights is a completely different situation because he was letting Boruto borrow the headband, not giving it away completely. That actually was a sign of protection for Sasuke back then, because Boruto was supposed to return the headband back to Sasuke, so chances are Sasuke wasn't going to die before Boruto could return it. However, this time around Sasuke gave it to Boruto as a permanent gift to keep, meaning Boruto no longer has to return it to Sasuke. It's no longer Sasuke's headband anymore, which means this plot point is no longer a sign of protection for Sasuke, and instead is actually a sign of Sasuke's impending death due to Kishimoto's writing style. And on that note, let's talk about those patterns in Kishimoto's writing style. The biggest ones are those Naruto and Sasuke parallels I've blabbed on and on about a million times by now. Whenever something happens to Naruto, something similar tends to happen to Sasuke, or vice versa. When Naruto gets a power-up, Sasuke tends to get a power-up. When Naruto got nerfed, Sasuke got nerfed. When Naruto was on the verge of death versus Madara, Sasuke was also on the verge of death versus Madara. When Naruto lost an arm, Sasuke lost an arm, and so on. They don't always experience the exact same events and tragedies, but similar things and concepts usually happen to both of them. They don't copy each other, but they parallel each other. With this writing pattern in mind, I've said for a long time that Naruto is most likely going to get sent away by Kawaki near the end of part 1, which would signal the shift from the story of Boruto and Naruto to the story of just Boruto, like Boruto talked about in chapter 1. And once Naruto got sealed away, which already happened in chapter 77, Sasuke would be on a ticking clock to get removed from the story too. Similarly, Boruto and Kawaki tend to follow a similar paralleling pattern as Naruto and Sasuke. Sasuke. Furthermore, Kishimoto loves the student betraying the master trope, which we've seen a million times in Naruto. For example, Orochimaru betrayed and killed Hiruzen. Sasuke betrayed and killed Orochimaru. Sasuke tried to kill Kakashi. Obito betrayed and attacked Minato. Obito also ultimately betrayed Madara. Nagato betrayed and killed Jiraiya. Nagato and Konan also ultimately betrayed Obito. Kisame betrayed and killed his master Fuguki. Sai betrayed and disobeyed Danzo, and so on. Then in Boruto, Kawaki betrayed his master Naruto and sent him to Daikokuten, removing Naruto from the story. Obviously, Naruto is still a relevant plot point in the story, but he's not physically there in the action. So given Kishimoto's penchant for the student betraying the master trope, his parallels between Naruto and Sasuke, and his parallels between Boruto and Kawaki, plus all the Momoshiki prophecy stuff that I made a recent video about and have talked about plenty of times before, I think there's a pretty good chance that Sasuke is going to get removed from the story too, this time by Boruto's hand instead of Kawaki's. This video isn't so much about how Sasuke will die as it is why Sasuke is likely to die, but in this particular case, the how Sasuke might die actually kind of serves as a reason for why he's likely to die. And on the note of more writing parallels, Boruto's relationship with Sasuke is supposed to parallel Naruto's relationship with Jiraiya, although there are some obvious differences. As we all know, Jiraiya's death was the catalyst for Naruto maturing as a character and following in his master's footsteps to try to find the answer to world peace that Jiraiya believed would one day be achieved, as well as Naruto adopting his master's fighting style by learning and mastering Sage Mode. As I explained earlier in the video with Boruto wearing Sasuke's outfit, Sasuke's death could be the catalyst for Boruto continuing to mature as a character and to follow in his master's footsteps to become a ninja who protects the Hokage in the village from the shadows, as well as to adopt Sasuke's fighting style with the sword. And I'm gonna come back to this topic yet again later in the video, as it is a very important concept for Boruto's character and Sasuke's death. Furthermore, Naruto had his moment of shining glory when he unleashed Baryon mode against Ishiki, and then he got some hype for his improved Toad Sage mode, only to never see anything from it. On the other hand, Sasuke had a pretty lackluster moment versus Borushiki, and had no real moment of shining glory against Ishiki or Borushiki. Like I said, Naruto and Sasuke usually parallel each other, so it would be odd for Sasuke to never get his glorious moment that Naruto got. So with that in mind, they might just experience their moments of glory and unfortunate mediocrity in reverse order. Naruto's moments against Code and Borushiki were not glorious at all. He was forced by Code to just stand still and try to tank Borushiki's massive Rasengan, and then Kawaki stepped in to save Naruto and fought Borushiki instead. He was completely outshined by Kawaki, and then when Boruto woke up, he just sent Naruto flying with a wind-style Gale Palm. The Naruto fans were not happy. Similarly, Sasuke's moments against Borushiki weren't anything super amazing either. I'll admit they were definitely cooler, as he did land a kick on Borushiki and cleverly figure out Borushiki's weakness in that fight and devise a strategy to defeat him, but he also got his eyes stabbed out by Borushiki and knocked on the ground by a vanishing Rasengan, where Kawaki then took all the shining glory of defeating Borushiki by setting himself on fire so that Momoshiki would have to absorb the jutsu so that Kawaki wouldn't die because he didn't want to lose his sacrifice, which in turn woke Boruto back up. It wasn't as bad as Naruto's situation with Code and Borushiki, but I wouldn't call it a glorious moment for Sasuke either. As a result, I think Sasuke should get a moment of glory in this current arc here, most likely because of his brains rather than a power-up like Naruto, but that remains to be seen. Either way, if and when Sasuke gets his moment of glory, this very likely could put a target on Sasuke's back for Kawaki and Eida, who are significantly stronger than Sasuke, and they also have Daemon, Sage, Mitsuki, and the rest of the Leaf Village currently on their side too. Just keeping it real, if Sasuke stands in Kawaki's way, Kawaki is going to go for the kill, and with the team Kawaki has on his side, Sasuke stands no chance in that fight. That alone is already a problem. At least versus Jigen and Ishiki, he wasn't nerfed, and Jigen and Ishiki had stamina and lifespan weaknesses. Sasuke has nothing going for him if Eida, Daemon, and Kawaki went after him. That's just the sad truth. I don't think those people will kill Sasuke, but they can certainly be catalysts for his eventual death. Before moving on to the next part, I want to address one last thing in regards to the Naruto and Sasuke paralleling thing. The parallel here is them being removed from the story. Like I said earlier, they don't have to experience the exact same things to parallel each other. Naruto was a Jinchuriki while Sasuke had a dojutsu. That doesn't mean they didn't acquire power-ups at similar times. Naruto got nerfed by Kurama using up his life force while Sasuke got his eyes stabbed out. That doesn't mean they didn't both get nerfed. Just because Naruto got sent away to a dimension where time doesn't flow so that he won't die, doesn't mean Sasuke has to be sent to that same Daikokuten dimension. Sasuke can die while Naruto is stuck in that dimension. In both cases, they are removed from the story, which is the point I'm getting at. And even then, there still exists a possibility that Kawaki does end up killing Naruto later on based on his dialogue in the first chapter and episode, so they could both end up dying anyway. anyway. Only time will tell there. The problem for Sasuke here is that Boruto doesn't have the Shinjutsu Daikoku Ten to send Sasuke to that same dimension. Only Kawaki can do that. If Boruto sends Sasuke to another dimension, it's gonna be a regular dimension where Sasuke will be stuck there to die of thirst or hunger or old age, unless they randomly introduce a similar dimension to Daikoku Ten that Momoshiki secretly had in his back pocket all along, which would be quite the ass pull. So unfortunately for Sasuke, if he gets removed from the story by Boruto's hand, he's probably gonna have to die. The only way he's staying alive is if Kawaki sends Sasuke to Daikoku Ten 2, which I don't think will be the case, as Kawaki would probably just go for the kill versus Sasuke like he did with Sarada, since he doesn't care about them the way he cares about Naruto. So no matter what, Sasuke is probably screwed here and stuck staring death in the face. Now so far we've covered direct pieces of foreshadowing of Sasuke's death, and we've also covered patterns in Kishimoto's writing style that heavily hint towards Sasuke eventually dying. So now let's take a look at future plot points that Sasuke's death is a great instigator for. Coming back to the Boruto becoming the new Shadow Hokage thing, if Boruto is put into a position where he has to kill Sasuke, regardless of the reason why, and better yet if Sasuke tells Boruto to kill him, this is a perfect lesson on what it means to be the Shadow Hokage. Sometimes you just gotta do this shit in order to protect the village. Kakashi went through it when he killed Rin. Hiruzen had to swallow his feelings and try to kill his student Orochimaru. Kakashi had to try to do the same versus Sasuke in the 5 Kage Summon arc. Sasuke decided he would have to kill his student Boruto if Momoshiki became too much of a serious threat. Kawaki had to make that same choice versus Borushiki in chapter 66 and episode 292, and is still trying to carry out that goal even as we speak. Itachi had to massacre his entire clan and take on the blame of being a maniac clan killer rogue ninja, and bear the brunt of his little brother Sasuke's hatred, all to avoid a civil war in the Leaf Village and the threat of other villages invading afterwards. Kisame had to kill his teammates to protect the village's intel from being leaked to the Leaf Village, and he also had to kill his master Fuguki because he was leaking intel to the enemy. Kisame also had to kill himself in order to prevent his own intel on the Akatsuki from leaking to the allied shinobi forces, and so on. Itachi and Kakashi are probably the best examples of taking on a Shadow Hokage-like role, having to suffer and be traumatized from the actions they were forced to take in order to protect the Leaf Village. Boruto doesn't truly understand what that means and what that feels like. Putting your own life on the line for the sake of the village isn't all the Shadow Hokage does. The actual Hokage does the same thing, and so do any ninja with a strong will of fire. On the other hand, having to do dark things like kill your master or your student or your friend or your family for the sake of the village's safety is something a Shadow Hokage might have to do. It's part of the job. It's what Boruto is signing up for. He hasn't truly grasped that reality yet, but killing his master Sasuke would be the absolute best way for him to face that reality, making it Sasuke's final and most important lesson to Boruto. This scene could be so emotional and so impactful for Boruto's character if it is done correctly. Furthermore, another future event that is very likely to happen is Sarada awakening her Mangekyo Sharingan. I know people like to say that Sarada's Sharingan is different from everyone else, and she awakens and upgrades her Sharingan out of love instead of hate, but this is just not true. Sarada's Sharingan awakening and progression is the same as every other Uchiha in concept. Tobirama literally explained to Sasuke that the Uchiha clan isn't the clan of hatred. They experience greater love than even the Senju clan. The problem is when they lose that love or fear losing that love. They experience trauma and they experience a change in their brain and optic nerves, and it results in the awakening of the Sharingan, which they can then progress from there. Every time an Uchiha awakened the Sharingan or progressed this Tomoe development, it was either because they lost something they love, were desperate to prevent the loss of something they love, or were actively trying to break a bond and take away something they love from themselves. In all three cases, the loss of something they love is the central concept. Itachi awakened his Sharingan when his teammate Tenma was killed by Obito in front of Itachi's eyes. Sasuke awakened his Sharingan after Itachi massacred the Uchiha clan. Obito awakened his Sharingan out of his desire to save Kakashi and Rin and not lose them like he was about to, since Rin was kidnapped and Kakashi was blind in one eye. Sasuke reawakened his Sharingan for the second time after several years versus Haku out of his desire to protect Naruto and not lose his best friend. Sasuke awakened his second Tomoe during his fight with Orochimaru in the Forest of Death out of his desire to protect Naruto and Sakura and not run away like Itachi told him. Sasuke awakened his third Tomoe in his fight with Naruto at the Valley of the End when he was trying to break his bond with Naruto, who Sasuke himself admitted was his closest friend, and so on. And when it comes to Sarada, the same concepts are still involved. In episode 21 of the Boruto anime, during the anime adaptation of Naruto Gaiden, Sakura and Shizune have a conversation about Sarada, where Sakura explained to Shizune that Sarada awakened the Sharingan several years ago, and Shizune says that emotional trauma triggers the awakening of the Sharingan, as we know to be the case based on observation in Tobirama's explanation of the Sharingan, and she continues to say, perhaps without knowing, Sasuke's absence affected her deeply. This fits right in line with Tobirama's explanation and what we've seen in the past. Sasuke didn't die or anything, but he was absent for most of Sarada's childhood. That absence was still a loss of love for Sarada, who feels immense love for her family as most Uchiha do, and it resulted in her awakening the Sharingan. Even if you want to say, oh, that's anime only filler nonsense, Sarada still reawakened her Sharingan out of the desire to see her dad, who she hasn't seen in several years and had almost no memories of. She still experienced the loss of her father for several years and was traumatized by it, and that desire to see her father and not lose him for good is similar to Obito wanting to protect Kakashi and Rin and not lose his best friends. It's still all the same concepts. Then when it comes to Sarada's second Tomoe awakening in the anime, she awakened it out of the desire to save Boruto from Deepa's attack, just like Obito awakening his Sharingan versus the Stone Ninja, and Sasuke's reawakening his Sharingan versus Haku, and awakening his second Tomoe versus Orochimaru. It's no different. So with that tangent out of the way, every single Uchiha that awakened the Mangekyo Sharingan awakened it when they watched someone extremely close to them die in front of their eyes. Madara watched Tobirama kill his brother Izuna. Itachi watched Shizui jump off a cliff and kill himself. Sasuke saw Itachi die at his feet. Kakashi literally killed Rin, and Obito watched it happen, and so on. Coming back to more parallels in Kishimoto's writing style, if Sarada sees Boruto kill Sasuke just like when Obito saw Kakashi kill Rin, I'm pretty damn sure Sarada's gonna awaken her Mangekyo Sharingan. She isn't just gonna not awaken it after watching that happen, so that she can awaken it out of her love for Boruto or some nonsense. If she sees Sasuke die, she's gonna awaken her Mangekyo Sharingan, just like how it went with every other Uchiha who awakened it. And since it's very likely that Sarada will awaken the Mangekyo Sharingan, because she kinda has to in order to remotely keep up with Boruto, Kawaki, and Mitsuki, and it's also great for her character development, this only serves as further reason why Sasuke will probably die. I'm sorry to say this, but Konohamaru is probably not good enough for Sarada's Mangekyo awakening. He's not in the manga enough, and he's simply nowhere near as close and important to Sarada as Sasuke is. And while Sakura would be important enough for Sarada to awaken her Mangekyo, she's in the manga even less than Konohamaru is, and she has absolutely no death flags unlike Sasuke. So let's be real, Sasuke is way more likely to die than Sakura is. And while Shikamaru does have the potential to die at some point, he isn't all that close or important to Sarada, like he's even further on the radar than Konohamaru is, so she's probably not awakening her Mangekyo if Shikamaru dies. Realistically speaking, the only person who's extremely important to Sarada and actually has death flags is Sasuke. Sasuke's death is most likely how and when Sarada will awaken her Mangekyo Sharingan. Simple as that. Furthermore, as I explained in my last video, Momoshiki was most likely talking about Boruto's blue eyes in his prophecy the whole time, not Eida's, and that true spectacle he spoke of in chapter 67 has likely yet to come, meaning Boruto likely needs to seal the deal and take everything away from himself. And a great way to accomplish that while fitting Momoshiki's hype for the true spectacle would be for Boruto to kill Sasuke in front of Sarada and the rest of the village's eyes, which would require Sasuke to die, obviously. Not gonna harp on that too much since you can just watch that video for more explanation. And lastly, since Kashinkoji managed to escape alive from his fight with Ishiki, we need to give this man something to do. He hasn't appeared ever since he reversed Summit away in chapter 48, so I don't think he's gonna appear or at least do a whole lot until after Sasuke has died, where he can then take Sasuke's place and train Boruto over the time skip, and Boruto is forced to leave the village because everyone hates him, which will be another parallel to Naruto leaving the village to train with Jiraiya. Now it'll be Naruto's son Boruto training with Jiraiya's clone Kashinkoji. The only other thing for Kashinkoji to do is to confront Amato and possibly betray him and reveal some of his secrets and true intentions, but he can just do that in addition to training Boruto. It doesn't have to be a one or the other type of situation. So altogether, if you watch this whole video and still think Sasuke is gonna survive until the end of Boruto, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how you can watch this and not think Sasuke is gonna die by the end of part 1, or at least at some point during the series, but I want to hear what you guys think. Do you think Sasuke is going to die? And if so, when do you think he's going to die? Do you think he'll die by the end of part 1 like I do, or do you think he'll make it to part 2 and die sometime later on? And if you actually think Sasuke is going to live until the end of the series, why do you think so? Don't tell me it's because he's a popular character, because that didn't save Jiraiya, Itachi, Pain, or Minato from dying, and I know for a fact that Itachi was an extremely popular character. And Naruto's popular too, especially in Boruto, but he still got knocked out of the story. Being popular doesn't automatically guarantee you're gonna survive. Furthermore, Kashi and Koji can train Boruto if Sasuke dies, so Boruto needing a master isn't a great reason either. So give me a different and better reason for why you think Sasuke will live if that's truly what you think. And for those of you who do think Sasuke will die, how do you think he will die? Do you think Boruto will kill him? Do you think Sarada will kill him? Do you think Momoshiki, Kawaki, Eida, Daemon, or Code will do it? Do you think Sasuke will kill himself? Or do you think somebody else I didn't mention will do it? Let me know in the comment section below, but that's a wrap on today's video, so thank you guys for watching until the end. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, like the video, become a member, and hit the bell icon for notifications. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.